and you're just trying to go to a town hall, and it's admitted in the news, they don't let you into the, quote, public town hall. They question you, are you for this or against it? If you're wearing the purple people stuff, you get into the town hall for a staged media event, and then you're not even in America allowed to be outside. You get punched in the nose.
Well, according to the Carnahan people, and according to Russ Carnahan himself, the representative that held the town hall, he had a secret press conference the next morning, hand-selected reporters, so that there would be no negative press coverage on it. And there was a local journalist here, Jamie Allman, who put Mr. Carnahan to task and asked him directly about the involvement of the SEIU at these events. And Mr. Representative Carnahan...
I'll tell you what, stay there, stay there. We've got a break.
Sure.
And we're going to come back to you guys, but we do have some video of the secret press conferences coming up. But do one more segment with us, then we'll open the phones up for all the listeners out there after our guests leave us to talk about the attack on free speech in America. Hey, I was there when Bush was attacking it, decrying him as Hitlerian. Now, under Obama, it's many times worse. And if you disagree with any of their policies, they shout you down as a racist. They are the ones injecting race into issues that have nothing to do with that. They're race pimping. But that's what Obama did as a race pimp for Annenberg Foundation in Chicago. That's how they control these cities. They play different ethnic groups off against each other. America, one giant mafia Chicago.
Finally in the news this evening, it's being reported that cyber spies from Russia and China have now penetrated our power grid. Even as energy experts are reporting that each summer we get closer and closer to the limits of our nation's power grid, some say that this summer's demand for electrical power may finally push the grid over its edge, creating a cascade of power outages across the country, putting us all in the dark.
Are you prepared for the next round of storm-related outages or government-created blackouts? Have you ever thought about taking steps to get off the grid and generate your own private supply of electrical power? If so, this will be the most important information you have ever heard. Solar-powered generators are finally available. They have no moving parts to wear out or break and require absolutely no gas whatsoever. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Check out mysolarbackup.com before you lose your power.
This is how tyranny works. It incrementally trains you to accept losing your free speech, being put in free speech zones, being beat up by thugs, until you're living in a total police state. Coming up, we're going to play for the full audience. Some stations don't carry this segment. In the next segment with our guest, we're going to get into this video in the press conference where a brave reporter did indeed ask serious questions of the congressman who was up there peddling propaganda. But going to this issue first, gentlemen, before we have a 1-minute break and come back, Mr. Brown, where are you going with this? I mean, not only was your client brutally attacked with racial slurs added for absolutely no reason on video with witnesses, but they have tried to demonize him, as he was saying earlier, and implied that he took on 4 guys. So don't you have to go after them legally now just to clear your client's name fully? I mean, you have all the evidence.
Well, it's not about clearing Kenneth's name. We know Kenneth has been in the right the entire time.
No, I know the video shows it and the police arrested the bad guys, but, as you've seen the spin out there on the web. I mean, pretty soon they're going to claim he had devil horns and was flying around on a broom.
Well, yeah, but it's probably already happening as we speak. But Ken's laughing. I don't know how funny it is, though, because Ken's in a pool of piranhas now, and the piranhas are out there, and it's all about money and power with them. So they're going to attack viciously for their own agenda and their own interests. So our plan is we're putting together a strategic legal plan right now, and we will be suing the appropriate parties. But until we file that lawsuit, I don't want to exactly go into all the strategy of what we're going to do. But be clear that our action will be swift and it will be deliberate.
So in the next few weeks, I would put Obama on the spot. I would call the FBI in and say, we have a hate crime right here on tape. Peaceful man.
We're going to be calling for Chris Koster, the Attorney General for the state of Missouri, to prosecute these individuals as a hate crime. Because it was the crime of the third-degree assault was racially motivated. Even if it was the first perpetrator was a black American, nonetheless, it was still racially motivated. Be clear of this, because he did not believe that a black person could be selling the Gadsden flags. So it was a racially motivated beating and a brutal beating. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you commit the crime based upon race, then it will be considered a hate crime, and it will be elevated from a third-degree assault to a D felony. Well,
just to add a historical note, blacks fought and died in the very first skirmishes at Lexington and Concord, if my history serves. So, I mean, again, that's almost denying African Americans their American heritage to be able to hand out a colonial flag. I mean, have they been trained by the DHS reports that anybody that has this symbol that I'm holding in my hand of the coiled snake, don't tread on me? I mean, I guess that's why Nancy Pelosi says you're AstroTurf. They're saying you're AstroTurf because that's what tyrants always do. And we're saying, no, we're Americans who are free. I'm not your slave. I mean, that's all this means. Was to the redcoats that we weren't their slaves. I mean, Kenneth, why do you go out and hand out the Gadsden flags?
Well, I was just out selling the Gadsden flags, and just trying to make a living, trying to make a living for myself and for my, to help out my wife and everything,
So this is even worse. You weren't even out there politically. You're just out there, hey, you want a flag? I'll give you one.
Definitely.
These people. Well, I mean, that's the crazy part about it is I run into Obama supporters now, and they're like wild-eyed because they were all bought into this dream that everything was fine, their house was going to be paid for, their car was going to be paid for. Remember all that? And now they look at me or anybody else that doesn't worship him as it's my fault everything isn't fine.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
All right, here's the audio, and for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers right now, the video of one reporter actually asking serious questions. Then I saw reports of reporters being arrested who took photos of what really happened because somebody didn't want those photos getting out. And we're seeing, I mean, this gets crazier and crazier. And remember, the Obama people are sending us threatening emails. The White House has called for Obama supporters to get out in the streets and confront people. This is New York Times, but they're saying it's good. And to create lists of people and to report it to the White House. And different branches, investigative branches of Congress and others are saying this is illegal. Nixon got in trouble for an enemies list. I mean, they're saying spy on your neighbors, report anyone. And these Obama people, they're crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like this where you say, hey, cap and trade's really bad. No other country has to make this new tax, and it's going to shut down our industry and really hurt the economy, and carbon dioxide is what plants breathe. And they'll go, God, I didn't know you were racist, Alex. And I'm like, no, it's cap and trade. I'm not joking. I mean, I had videos removed that don't say anything about race. And they removed them saying they're racist. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is happening. Let's play a clip of this congressman being confronted by the media. And then he really kind of just mumbles, and the audio's low, but we'll jack it up. Here it is.
There's videotape of your supporters beating Kenneth Gladney and sending him to the hospital. He spent the entire evening in St. John's Mercy Medical Center and was released this morning and was beaten by the union members. How do you respond to that?
Jamie, I didn't see any of this.
He mumbles and says he didn't see any of that. Well, the cameras did. The cameras did. But, again, the issue is here, the media tried to spin this like, oh, there was a fight. Republicans and Democrats got in a fight. No, it was the thugs attacking peaceful people, and this is coming in everywhere. So they're saying it's fake, that spontaneous citizens aren't angry and that they want socialist health care and cap and trade to turn their guns in. And I can play you the newscast. In fact, let me just ask Attorney David B. Brown, the man who was racially attacked, Kenneth Gladney. You live near St. Louis. Did you see the newscast when the police went on the TV during the election and said, if you criticize Obama, we're going to be the judge and we're going to arrest you? I mean, that's...
Well,
I mean, that's...
I didn't see those particular... I've read about it on the internet, but the crazy part about all this, well, I guess it's not so crazy. I guess we see there is a pattern of this, is Carnahan gets up there and mumbles and stumbles his way through there and pretends like nothing happened and tries to skirt and avoid the issue. But then the very same day, a little later that day at 2:30, Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius holds a telephone conference with the SEIU members, and she tells them, keep on doing what you're doing, in direct context to the town hall meetings. If that's not ratification of a pattern of actions